Osun State. Member-elect Omirin Emmanuel Olusanya. Osun State. Member-elect Omirin Emmanuel Olusanya. Member-elect Oladebolanre Alomole. Member-elect Mudashiru Lukman Alali. Member-elect Akani Clement Ademola. Present. Member-elect Salam Bamidele. Member-elect Ajile Soro Abimbola Taufik. Ajile Soro present. Member-elect Adewale Moruf Adebayo. Member-elect Adewale Moruf Adebayo. Member-elect Adewale Moruf Adebayo. Member-elect Oke Busayo Oluwole. Mr. Clark, I'm here, present. Member-elect Adetunji Abidemi Olusoji. Member-elect Adetunji Abidemi Olusoji. Member-elect Adetunji Abidemi Olusoji. Oyo State.
Testing mic 1 2. 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 Testing mic 1 2.
Isiaka Ibrahim Ayokule. Present. We are going to Oyo State. Oyo State. Member-elect Adeyemi Akim Adeni. Present. Member-elect Akim Moede Olafisoye Wasiu. Present. Member-elect Alabi Akinola. Present. Member-elect Akinremi Olaide Adewale. Member-elect Akim Moede Olafisoye Wasiu. Present. Member-elect Alabi Akinola. Present. Member-elect Akinremi Olaide Adewale. Member-elect Akinremi Olaide Adewale. Member-elect Adigun Abbas Adekule. Present. Member-elect Olajide Adedeji Stanley. Present. Member-elect Adepoju Anthony Adebayo. I am present. Member-elect Oseni Abbas Aderemi. Present. Member-elect Mohammed Olaide Latif. I'm present. Member-elect Oyedeji Najimdin. Present. Present. Member-elect Alao Olamijuolo Ayodeji. Member-elect Ojo Sunday Makanjiola. I'm present, sir. Member-elect Akande Shadipe Lolulope Tualola. Present. Member-elect Karim Tajuddin Abishodu. Present, please. Plateau State. Member-elect Gendem Peter Ibrahim. Member-elect Musa Aga Avia. Present. Member-elect Lalu Ishaya David. Lalu is present, sir. Member-elect Babos Dachu Musa. Present. Member-elect Yusuf Adamu Gabdi. Present. Member-elect La Beni Butmark. Member-elect La Beni Butmark. Member-elect La Beni Butmark. Member-elect Kwalu Isaac Kali. Member-elect Idris Ahmed. Present. Rivers State. Member-elect Bob Solomon. Member-elect Obuzo Victor. Member-elect Goodhead Boma. Member-elect Abiante Awaji. Present. Abiante Awaji Nombek Dagomie. Go ahead. Member-elect Hart Cyril Godwin. Member-elect Inweke Felix Uche. Present. Member-elect Emerengwa Boniface Sunday. Present. Member-elect Ngogu Kelechi. Yes. Member-elect Ngogu Kelechi.
Taraba State, Omeso Orwell Hacho, Omeso Orwell Hacho, Mpigi Baranada, Banigo Ipalibo Harry, Sokoto State, Ibrahim Lamido, Wamako Aliyu, Bambuwa Waziri Aminu, Taraba State, Manu Haruna, Isa Shaibulao, Jim Kuta David S.U., Yobe State, Gaetam Alaji Ibrahim, Lawan Ahmad Ibrahim, Mohammed Bumai Ibrahim, Zamfara State, Zamfara State, Bilbis Aliyu Ikra, Yao Sahabi Alaji, Abubakar Abdulaziz Yari,
Now the voting is concluded. May I invite the tellers, that is the movers and seconders, to come forward, to step forward to witness the counting and the announcement of the results.
At exactly 15 minutes past 9 o'clock this morning, voting has been concluded on the floor of the Senate for the candidates standing in as president of the 10th Senate. Now, collation of ballot is ongoing with the two senators who nominated the candidates standing as observers. That is the sorting out of ballots. Well, it's being carried out just like it's done in the general election. Now, the two candidates who have been voted for, the ballot is being sorted according to their names. So after the separation of the ballots, eventually they'll be counted, and the candidate with the highest number of votes will be declared winner. But in the event of two or more senators-elect receiving equal votes, the name of the candidate...
Katsina State, Member-elect Mohammed Jamilu. Member-elect Mohammed Jamilu Faskari.
Election will be conducted for the two candidates with the highest. But in this case, there are only two candidates. And if, for instance, after this collation and both candidates have equal votes, there will be another election. And so this will continue until a winner emerges.
Member-elect Said Musa Abdullahi.
Observation, Mr. Clark.
Member-elect Baraje Yusuf Puri.
Collation of ballots still ongoing here at the floor of the Senate. We can see the senator who nominated Senator Godswill Akpabio, Senator Alin Dume, who is the chairman, Senate Committee on Army in the 9th Senate, is the person that nominated Senator Godswill Akpabio. He's standing there observing the process. We also have the senator who nominated Senator Abdulaziz Yari, Senator Elisha Abu from Adamawa State, is also there observing the electoral process. Well, the collation is still ongoing, and this will continue till we get to a point that all the ballots have been collected, sorted out, and separated. And then the teller, that is the staff of the National Assembly who is doing the collation, is known as the teller. When it's done, he will now have to approach the clerk to the National Assembly, Magaji Tambawal, to tell him that the process has been concluded. And then the clerk to the National Assembly takes off from there. And the work of the teller ends at that point in time. And then he announces the next person who will sit on the exalted position of the President of the Nigerian Senate. The history of the Nigerian legislative arm of government has been that of a consistently interrupted growth, occasions by various military interventions. Still a collation of results ongoing at the Senate. Well, you can see some jubilation on the floor of the Senate, but the result of this voting has not been announced. Collation is still ongoing, but what we saw on the floor, images of supporters of Senator Godswill Akpabio jubilating, not because the result has been announced, but they in the chamber, they are hearing the voice of the teller who has been announcing the votes. So from what they are hearing, they believe Senator Godswill Akpabio is going to have the day. That's the jubilation. But the collection of results is still ongoing here on the floor of the Senate. collation of result is still ongoing here on the floor of the Senate. Like we did say earlier, from the images we are seeing there, we see Senator Goswell Akpabio, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, and the immediate past Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. They're being surrounded by some of his supporters there in the floor. But we can see his face appears to be very emotional. What we could describe as a tears of joy. But it's very important to know that collection of results is still ongoing. But then there in the chamber, they could hear the voice of the teller when he calls names of the candidates on each of the ballots. So from deduction, they could conclude who might take the day. See, that's it, Sheyi Makinde, governor there, for your state there. All of them surrounding Senator Goswell Akpabio in anticipation of the eventual victory.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على نبيه الكريم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول لهم كن فيكون كن فيكون كن فيكون. The clerk to the National Assembly, herein represented by the DCNA, I am Honorable Al-Hassan Ado Dogwa, member-elect for Dogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency of Kano State. My respected colleagues, members-elect, with all sense of humility, I am of the APC extraction. The clerk to the National Assembly, I rise here pursuant to Order 2, Rule 3, A, B, and C of that same rule. 2, very humbly and on behalf of my respected members of the 10th Assembly, and in the exercise of this statutory duty, in the exercise of this institutional role that I'm humbled and given the opportunity to make on behalf of my colleagues, I rise here with all sense of respect to present to this gathering, this august gathering, a 58-year-old young man. I rise with all sense of humility, the clerk, to present to my colleagues a humble man, a very reliable man, a man that you can all depend on and have your eyes closed. My respected colleagues, members-elect, to the 10th Assembly, I rise here to present to you and by extension to Nigerians, a man whose psychological and emotional temperament is apt and appropriate. My distinguished colleagues, the clerk to the National Assembly, I rise in discharge of this statutory role to present to this important gathering a man who, of course, by providence of hard work and commitment, is a holder of a PhD from the respected Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, it is my singular honor to also give to my colleagues the assurance that the man I'm presenting today is someone who, by providence of hard work, commitment, and experience, has the required cognate experience, legislative experience, and also the parliamentary experience to steer the ship of this hallowed chamber and preside effectively as the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you a man and a member-elect whom I believe, to the best of my knowledge, and of course by extension to the best of the knowledge of most of us here, is someone who is competent, is someone who is dependable and you can depend on him. He is someone who has the ability and all it takes to relate with other arms of government to move Nigeria forward. I would like to tell my colleagues that the man I'm presenting today, and by so doing making history along with my colleagues, is someone who has garnered to his credit significant sense of public and private sector experiences. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I rise to present to you a man, like I said, who I believe providence was.
Yeah. Yes. Order, please. Nine. Absent, nil. Abstain, nil. Abdul Aziz Yari scored 46 votes. Godswill Abadio scored 63 votes. Therefore, Senator-elect Godswill Abadio, who has received the highest number of votes, is hereby declared and returned President of the Senate. You can now.
elections are over and a new president of the Nigerian Senate has emerged. Former governor of Akwa Ibom State, the uncommon leader, Godswill Akpabio, emerges president of the 10th Senate. Well, the announcement has been made. Clerk to the National Assembly, Magaji Tambawal, has just announced that Godswill Akpabio scored 63 votes, while his rival, Abdulaziz Yari, scored 46 votes. And then Abdulaziz Yari
The House of Representatives is preparing for the election of the Speaker, 10th Assembly. Member representing Student Wadadogwa Federal Constituency, Alhassan Adodogwa, opened the nomination and nominated Tajuddin Abbas as for the position of the Speaker, 10th Assembly. The nomination was seconded by Nolim Naji, and they're all in support of Tajuddin Abbas. Tajuddin Abbas is the APC speakership nominee for the 10th Assembly.
All right, you're still watching the proceedings, talking about the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly. When we talk about, of course, the process in the Senate, it's been done and dusted. Quite a close race, 63 to 46, with Senator Godswill Akpabio, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, and of course the immediate past Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, emerging the 10th Senate President for the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was given qualified by former governor of Zamfara State, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, in that one. Let me go straight to Senator Itainan. You've been here before. It's the gallop to the gavel is a quest of being the first among equals. But a lot of us trading must have gone through this process. I'm even seeing a number of governors that are even getting even more in number than some senators in some of the clusters we saw in some of the pictures there. A lot of interest in this one.
Yes. I think it's normal in a situation like this. In 2019, when the Senate elected Senator Ahmad Lawan, the president of the 9th Senate, it was as tough as this, because there was alliance between the PDP at that time, which sponsored Senator Ike Ekweremadu to be the Deputy Senate President, and fronted Senator Alin Dume to be the President. And that was against the run of play as required by the majority party, and which was led by Adams Oshomole. At that time also, myself the national chairman, Adams Oshomole, as who was the chairman of the party. Now he's a senator-elect. You can see him in the footage there. We had to mobilize all the governors of the APC, including the secretary to government, including some party leaders. We mobilized them because there was a big challenge to us, because the party fielded and supported Ahmad Lawan against Senator Alin Dume. And Alin Dume had the backing of PDP senators. And the trade deal was that after electing Alin Dume, they will support the Ekweremadu of the PDP to repeat as president of the Senate. Don't forget that as deputy president of the Senate. Don't forget that under Saraki of the 8th Senate, the Senator Iko Ekweremadu was the deputy Senate president, so he wanted to repeat. So we had to mobilize, and it's the same strategy that has been adopted now, that the party has chosen His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio and fronted him as their preferred candidate, and they had to make every effort to make sure it pulled through. And I'm sure you can also see the closeness of the race. The closeness of the race, although it is not 54, 55 or 50, 59, but 46 to 63 is still close. When considering the fact that the number of APC members, considering the work that has been done by the majority party, I think it is still close. So I think they have to do...
Governor Senator Abdulaziz Yari is also of the APC.
Yes,
so perhaps he would have taken a couple of friends as well.
Yes. So it was a close race. But let me congratulate His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, who has emerged the elected president of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I think his path has always been cut and buttered by God. So I congratulate him, and I congratulate the 10th Senate because the process was seamless, did not allow for, there was no rancor except as normal. There was nothing suspicious. There was no suspicion of manipulation of vote and voting. There was nothing which the members, the distinguished senators-elect, could complain against the election process. The clerk to the National Assembly, the clerk to the Senate, and the deputy clerk to the Senate, and all of them that managed the process kept the tradition and kept to the Constitution and kept to the standing orders of the Senate, and they have had a very clean process that will not lead them to court.
There was a little bit of back and forth at the beginning when Senator Abo was, trying to, present his own nomination of Senator Governor, former Governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari. Is this normal? Do you get to see this often? You are the, people give us lectures on legislative studies and all that.
Well, I think it's very normal for you to see where interests are divided or where people have diverse interests. It's normal for you to see, that kind of thing, But again, I think I would like to congratulate the 10th Senate. You can see that tension was doused when the election started, and the election was free and fair. What you saw there is democracy in action, and the process was concluded seamlessly, just like distinguished rightly noted. And I think I like to join in congratulating.
All right, just to let you know that the swearing-in ceremony is already going on at the Senate. Once we reconnect with our outside broadcast crew, we'll bring you live pictures from the Senate. And of course, the process is ongoing in the House of Representatives as well. It seems to me as if it's only one person standing and everybody seems to be queuing behind Honorable Tajuddin Abbas from Zaria, Kaduna State, Benjamin Kalu from Abia State as Deputy Speaker as well. That is also ongoing. Once we get relink outside broadcast crew will bring you, pictures from there. It seems to me as if the House of Representatives, in spite of the fact that they are more in number and the opposition is slightly more, combined opposition is slightly more than the ruling party, there seems to be oneness in terms of the direction where the Speaker's gavel should go.
Well, I think they have done their homework very properly, and I think you can see that even before now, the national leadership of the APC, as well as the president himself, they have moved around to ensure that they rally their, support for Abbas. And as you can see in the floor of the House, everything is going according to plan. But that does not mean that there may not be, some form of, maybe other candidates may not emerge. At least we'll have to see what will happen. Let us, so that we'll have to see what is happening on the floor, so that we'll see whether Abbas will succeed in becoming an unopposed candidate. That is yet to come.
Yes, Senator Enan, it is instructive to let our viewers know that you went through the whole process. I think you were in the State House of Assembly as well.
Yes.
And you are in the House of Representatives,
yes.
and then you are a senator. You are in the best position to take us through this course. Almost 300, over 300, members elect there, but it seems as if they are all looking in one direction. And like I said to, the lecturer here, I was saying that, it looks to me as if, when we look at the, tabulation, the combined opposition is more than, the ruling party. But let's quickly see what's happening in the Senate. I think the pictures are back. Let's just take you live there as the inauguration is ongoing from the Senate.
Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, the Clerk of the National Assembly, I am Engineer Wes David Umahi, the immediate past governor of Ebonyi State, and the chairman of this winning group. I stand to nominate Senator Jibril Barau to take the seat of the Deputy Senate President of the Senate. Excellency, Mr. Senate President, Mr. Clerk, I rise today in this historic hallowed chamber of the Nigerian people with honor, a deep sense of responsibility, patriotism, national unity, and in the spirit of national democracy that distinguished Senator Jibril Barau, CON, representing the industrious people of Kano North Senatorial District, who will take the chair of the Senate as the Deputy President of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency, may I seek your permission to read a brief citation of this distinguished Nigerian. Senator Barau I. Jibril was born in 1959 at his hometown of Kano, the headquarters of Kabo local government area of Kano State. He holds a certificate in financial management for making business decisions from Cornell University, United States of America. He also has a bachelor's degree in accounting, master's certificate in financial management and pricing, master's certificate in management and master's of business administration degree, MBA. After his initial higher studies, the senator worked briefly in the accounting department of the Kano State Foundation before he resigned in 1992 to begin his private flourishing business with vast interests in the manufacturing, insurance, and the construction sectors of the Nigerian economy. His success in the private sector prepared him adequately to begin a process of championing the cause of his people through the instrumentality of politics. The senator's passion for his people motivated him to contest and won election in 1999 to the House of Representatives to represent Turani Federal Constituency of Kano State. While in the Federal House of Representatives, he served as the chairman, House Committee on Appropriations. As the chairman of the committee, he initiated in the year 2000 the practice of providing opportunities for federal legislators to nominate projects to be implemented in their constituency project impact. This practice has been accepted and is being adopted not only by the federal legislators, but also the state legislators across the country. He was also a member of the House of Representatives Committee on Power, among other committees during that period. He was appointed in year 2000 to serve as a member of a committee set up by former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo to review the Nigeria budgetary process. He served as the chairman of the Kano State Investment and Properties Limited, a company wholly owned by the Kano State government. He also served as a commissioner in the Kano State Executive Council during the second term of Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso's administration. On his return to electoral contest in 2015, Senator Barrow contested and won election to the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, representing his native Kano North Senatorial District under the platform of All Progressive Congress. He was appointed same year as the Vice Chairman Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream of the Senate, and subsequently became the chairman of the same committee. In the latter year of 2016, he was reassigned to the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions of State Fund as the chairman of the committee, a position he held till the end of the 80th National Assembly. He was re-elected to the Senate in 2019 and served as the chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriation until the end of his tenure in the 9th Assembly last week. Notably, he was the secretary of the Northern Senators Forum from 2016 to 2021, when he resigned in order to concentrate more on his rigorous duty as the chairman Senate Committee on Appropriations. He received the award of the Northern Senator of the Year 2017 by the Nigeria Senate Press Corps. He also received in June this year the Budget Cycles Restoration Award by the same National Assembly Press Corps in recognition of the role he played to restore the Nigerian budget cycle from January to December of every year. He was bestowed with the National Award of the Commander of the Order of Niger by the former President Muhammad Buhari in the year 2022 in recognition of his sterling service to Nigeria. Mr. Chief President, the Clerk of the National Assembly, my distinguished colleagues, it is for these reasons and more that I, Engineer Wednesday David Umai, CON, fellow of Nigeria Society of Engineers, FLAT, do urge us, as I have urged myself, to support this national unity and stability for Nigeria's motion for the nomination that distinguished Senator Jibril Barau, CON, do take the chair of the Senate as the Deputy President of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the benefit of Nigeria and Nigerians. I do move.
Any seconder? Senator-elect.
Distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic, Senator Godswill Akpobio, Senate President of the 10th Senate, the Clerk of the National Assembly, and distinguished Senators-elect, I rise to second the motion ably moved by Senator-elect Senator Dave Umahi, given the opportunity to take the seat of the Deputy Senate President. I so move. I so second, and my names are Senator-elect Saliu Mustafa, representing Kwara Central.
Distinguished Senator-elect Barrow.
Mr. President, my distinguished senators-elect, my name is Barrow I. Jibrin, the senator-elect representing Kano North, senatorial zone. Mr. President, I stand to accept the nomination, the motion for nomination as moved by Senator-elect David Umai, that I should take the Senate chair to add or to be the Deputy President of the Senate of the 10th Senate. Mr. President, I so accept. Thank you.
Are there further nominations? Are there further nominations? In the absence of further nomination, I declare the nomination closed. So, yeah. Since we have only one candidate vying for the position of the Deputy President of the Senate, I now declare Senator Jibrin Barrow as duly elected Deputy President of the Senate.
The new Deputy President of the 10th Senate has emerged. Senator Jibrin Barrow has emerged the Deputy President of the 10th Senate. Well, in his case, there was no any other nomination to contest with him, and therefore, Clerk to the National Assembly, Magaji Tambawa, announced him as Deputy President of the 10th Senate.
How do you vote? I go with Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Martin said to him, how do you vote? I vote for Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, PhD. I then, Josiah, how do you vote? I rise to vote for Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Esset Makudo, how do you vote? I rise to vote for Right Tajuddin Abbas. For Dominic, define how do you vote? I didn't hear you, sir. Inekwe Peter, Udo Golonya, how do you vote?
Arise to vote for Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
Olugo Obiageli, how do you vote?
Arise to vote Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
Okonkwo, Uchenna, Harris, how do you vote?
So help me God. So help me God. The Federal Republic of Nigeria. Federal Republic of Nigeria.
That as the Deputy President of the Senate,
And as the Deputy President of the Senate,
I will perform my functions
I will perform my functions
honestly,
honestly,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
faithfully, in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of
in
Nigeria
accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria
and the law
and the law
and the rules of the Senate,
and the rules of the Senate,
and always in the interest of the sovereignty,
and always in the interest of sovereignty,
integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And that I will strive
And that I will strive
to preserve
to preserve
fundamental objectives
the fundamental objectives
and directive principles
and directive principles
of the state policy
of state policy
contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
and that I will abide
and that I will abide
by the code of conduct
by the code of conduct
contained
contained
in the fifth schedule
in the fifth schedule
to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of
the
Nigeria.
Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Yeah, so I always forgot my
No. Wait, it's red, oh, bread.
very slowly on.
Yeah.
Abuku Obozi Zebe Ofoji, how do you vote? Philip Agbese, how do you vote? By my father, Senator John Akume Otajudin Abbas. Ojema Ojotu. The member-elect Ojema Ojotu. The vote of the people of Apag Atu Federal Constituency, I speak on their behalf, is for Honorable Tajudin Abbas, PhD. Thank you very much. Second, Zwa Ijoyom, how do you vote? TJ Abbas. Akume Regina, how do you vote?
TJ Abbas.
Taki T. Dixon, how do you vote?
I vote TJ Abbas.
Austin Asema Achado, how do you vote? Honorable TJ Abbas. Solomon Wombo, how do you vote?
Dr. TJ Abbas.
Senso Ipaja, how do you vote?
Honorable TJ Abbas.
Tessa Igbo, how do you vote?
Tajudin Abbas.
Ogegu David Agada, how do you vote?
Honorable TJ Abbas.
Onu Nyeche Blessing.
I rise to vote for Right Honorable TJ Abbas.
Midala Usman Balami, how do you vote?
I vote Honorable TJ Abbas.
Gimba Zenok.
I vote for Honorable Tajudin Abbas.
Member-elect Ali Mukhtar Betara.
I vote Honorable TJ Abbas.
Jaha Amadu Usman.
I vote for Honorable TJ Abbas.
Muhammad Ibrahim Bukar. Muhammad Ibrahim Bukar. Muhammad Ibrahim Bukar. Thank you. Alhaji Ahmed Satomi.
I stand firm and my vote goes straight to Dr. Tajudin Abbas, PhD. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Zana Usman. Ghana Malam Bukar. Rais Abdulkadris. Bukar Taba.
My vote goes to Honorable Tajudin Abbas.
Ian Emil Lemke. Ian Emil Lemke. Ebuna Alex. Aban Victor Bigson.
Honorable TJ Abbas.
Akiba Basi Depeyon.
Right Honorable TJ Abbas.
Basi Joseph.
Right Honorable TJ Abbas.
Iron Metaba Michael. Peter Apanke.
I vote for Right Honorable TJ Abbas.
Effiong Godwin Ode Itepo.
My vote is for Honorable TJ Abbas.
Lawrence. Okoli.
Order, distinguished. Order, order. Order, order. Order, distinguished. Please return to your seat. Order, order, distinguished senators-elect. The President of the Senate, the Deputy President of the Senate, senators-elect, I wish to make this announcement. We have in our mix the former Senate President, Senator Ebute Ane. He may wish to also congratulate the President of the Senate and the Deputy President of the Senate. Also in our mix, we have our former clerks to the National Assembly, person of Dr. Ibrahim Salim, CON, Alhaji Abubakar Maikaswa, OON, PhD, and Alhaji Sani Ataba Omololu. Thank you. The President of the Senate, the Deputy President of the Senate, distinguished senators-elect, on behalf of the management of National Assembly, I wish to congratulate you once again for this historic occasion. I think from now I have concluded my assignment in the Senate. I will now proceed to the House of Representatives. Thank you. Okay. Also in our midst, we have the former clerk, Amos Olatunde Ojo. Thank you. Sorry for that.
Osikama Ikemkama St. Andy. Akpatasin Oyo Zoje Peter. Akpatasin.
Akpatasin votes for DJ Abbas.
Murphy Osaru.
Respectfully, my vote goes to Honorable TJ Abbas.
Onobum Marcus Izekweya.
I honorably
Sir, can you make it audible? We didn't hear you. Yahweh is also. Osawaru Billy famous Adesua.
I rise this morning to cast my vote for Right Honorable TJ Abbas, PhD.
The Hausa Dennis. Nobere Julius. No, sorry, before Jesus. If the House are Danish. The House are Danish, please. If the House are Danish. Thank you. Ohabere Julius. Fatoba Olushola. Rufus Adeniyi. Bamishile Olufemi Richard.
TJ Abbas.
Omolaye Abiodun Francis. Rotimi Akintude Oluwaseun. Kolawole Davidson Akinlayo.
Honorable Tajudeen Abbas.
Chijoke Stanislaus
Tajudeen Abbas.
Nnamachi Paul Sunday.
Dr. Tajudeen Abbas.
Atu Chinaobi Sam.
Arise to vote for DJ Abbas.
Sunday Sarah Meha. Nwodo Stainless Chijoke.
Arise to vote for Dr. Tajudeen Abbas, PhD, my friend.
Dennis Agbo.
I rise to vote for Tajudeen Abbas.
Nnaji Nolem John.
Tajudeen Abbas. Arise to vote for Honorable TJ Abbas.
Ajiya Abdulrahman. Ajiya Abdulrahman.
Honorable TJ Abbas.
The live coverage of the inauguration of the 10th Assembly. For the Senate, it seems as if, of course, everything is done and dusted in the Red Chamber. Former governor of Akwa Ibom State, two-time governor of Akwa Ibom State, and of course, former minister of the Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has emerged as the Senate president, while he is going to be, assisted by as deputy Senate president by Senator representing Kano, North Senatorial District, talking about Senator Jibrin Barao. Of course, the process for the House of Representatives is ongoing. It's an open ballot system, and it seems as if everything is going in one direction, Senator.
Yes, it does appear. It does appear. And the difference between the rules of the Senate and the House of Representatives is that voting is by open ballot in the House and secret ballot in the Senate. And where you have the secret ballot in the Senate is what was introduced into the Senate under the Saraki situation, where the rules were changed within the interregnum of the dissolution of the 7th Senate and the proclamation of the 8th Senate. So, and that situation has not been changed. So, it is even in the amended 2022 rules, it is the situation of, secret ballots in the Senate, but in the House, open ballots.
All right, we didn't quite see the pictures there, but while after Honorable Adodogu had nominated Honorable Tajudeen Abbas from Zaria Federal Constituency, there were also other nominations, two nominations, that is for Ahmed Idris Wase from Plateau State and Aminu Jaji from Zamfara State. We're still trying to see how the collation is going, but for now it seems as if it's only going in one direction, Doctor.
Yes, I think all the votes are going in one direction. There is massive support for Abbas, and I think it has to do with, most of the members elect are going the line of the party and the executive. But my concern or my fear is that I hope that in spite of all this, and when eventually whoever the speaker is announced, they will be able to stand their ground and work without necessarily being subservient completely to the executive. As we have seen in the Ninth Assembly. I think that they should be able to uphold the principle of separation of powers to the extent that they should be able to hold the executive to account so that democracy can flourish and then people will be able to enjoy the dividends of democracy.
That is one school of thought, but I would want you perhaps to make a comment that you are also in this house. Does it necessarily mean that if everybody endorses one person, does it mean that it means everybody is hand in glove and they can still not perform their duties?
I do not agree with my brother that the Ninth Senate was hands in glove with the executive and they weren't able to perform their duties. The difference between the Ninth Assembly and the other assemblies and a few other ones is that the Ninth Assembly emerged in accordance with the run of play. They worked with the party, perhaps with the executive behind the scene, to choose the leadership of Femi Gbajabiamila and Senator Ahmad Lawan for the House of Representatives of the Senate. And when that happens, most matters that comes from the executive are pre-discussed at the party caucus, sometimes discussed between the Senate President and the Speaker and the President and the executive. They have that they make the ministers who are in charge of every measure or bill have opportunity of pre-discussing these matters, at the executive, with the Senate President and having his buy-in, and the Senate sometimes using the committees, using the chairman of committees and leaders of the committees, pre-discuss and agree on certain matters before it comes to the floor. And that is why some of those things comes and pass as if they were quote unquote rubber stamp. It is not. It is because there is what we call in the legal process front loading. Those matters have been front loaded, discussed. Areas of disagreement have been also trashed out. And sometimes when it is trashed out and there are disagreement, those matters are withdrawn.
We'll come back to you, sir. Yeah. Senator, we'll come back to you. Let's quickly go to the Senate. I think the Senate President wants to. Is making
membership of this Senate on the senators elect. The clerk. Senators elect. I will now proceed. As senators elect, I will now proceed with inviting senators elect state by state, 3 states at a time, to come forward to administer, to take oath of office. Work on Abia State, work on Chata Lentin, Kalu Oji Uzo, Abaribe Enina Hakot, Abbas Aminu Iya, Ishaku Elisha Cliff, Yarobinos Dauda, Etim Basi Anekon, Samson Akpan Ekon. Abia State. Okay, here. Adamawa State. Abbas Aminu Iya. Ishaku Elisha Cliff. 3. Yaro Dinos Dauda. Okay.
are not complete. It's on soon. 5, 6. We need to have two more. I call the names again. Okay. 7. Wokocha Talented. Carlo Oji Uzo. Abari Benina Hakot. Abbas Aminu Iya. Ishak Elisha Cliff. Yerobinos Dauda. Etim Basi and Ekon. Samson Akpan Ekon. You stay after me. We are starting with oath of allegiance. I state your name. Do solemnly affirm or swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. Oath of a member of the National Assembly. I do solemnly swear stroke affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as a member of the Senate, I will perform my functions honestly to the best of my ability, faithfully in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law and the rules of the Senate, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and the directive principles of state policy contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will abide by the Code of Conduct contained in the fifth schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. Anambra State, Ume Victor Chukwunonyelu, Woye Tony, Uba Patrick Ifani. Bauchi State, Ahmed Abdul Ningi, Kaila Samaila Kahua, Uba Omar Sheru. Bayelsa State, Congo Way Benson Friday, Agadaga Benson Sunday, Dixon Serake Henry. Oh, come. Well, so two are not. Kaila Samaila Dahua, Boba Omar Sheru. Oath of allegiance. I do solemnly swear stroke affirm
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Images of what we're seeing there on the floor of the Senate is the first official function of the President of the 10th Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. Now he is now administering oath of office and swearing in of the other 108 senators-elect. After this swearing-in ceremony, they become senators. Like I did say, this is the first official function of the President of the 10th Senate, Godswill Akpabio.
I will perform my functions honestly, to the best of my ability, faithfully in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law and the rules of the Senate, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will strive to preserve the fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy contained in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will abide by the Code of Conduct contained in the fifth schedule to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. Benue State, Udende Emmanuel Memsa, Zam Titus Satinga, you get it right. Moro Abba Patrick, Borno State, Kakashe Ulawan, Mongulo Mohammed Tahel, Jume Mohammed Ale, Cross River State, Jonah.
The Senate going through the process of swearing in the senators-elect as they become senators of the 10th Senate. Of course, the House of Representatives also going through the process of electing the first among the equals, talking about the Speaker of the 10th House of Representatives. Let's go to the floor of the Green Chamber and see as proceedings continue to unfold there at the floor of the House of Representatives Chamber there, the Green Chamber. Let's go there and I'll be back soon.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. On behalf of the State, my name is Aminu Tundu. I'm here to support and choose my candidate, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, inshallah.
Solely Sada Abbas Tajuddin. Abbas Tajuddin. Abbas Tajuddin. Yusuf Salisu Majiri Giri. This Yusuf Salisu Majigiri. I vote for Tajuddin Abbas. Thank you, sir. Ahmed Aliu Abdullahi.
The Sunan Allah the Rahman Mijingai. I rise to vote Prince Tajuddin Abbas.
Member-elect Sani Lawal.
Tajuddin Abbas.
Musa. Abbas. Mansar Musa. Member-elect Mansar Musa.
My name is Mansour Musa, representing Ali Rugondu Jiga, Pro Constituency from Kebbi State. I vote for Tajuddin Abbas.
Rabiu Garba Kamba.
With love from the people of Arewa Dandi local Arewa Dandi federal constituency of Kebbi State, my vote goes to Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, Ian Zazaw.
Sani Yakubu Numa. Sani Yakubu Numa. Aoje Bello.
My vote goes to Tajuddin Abbas.
Ai Mohammed.
The last born of the 10th Assembly, I stand to vote for Honorable Tajuddin Abbas Ian Zazo.
Ibrahim Chukura Kabir.
My vote goes to the Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
Garba Koko Salisu. Yusuf Tanko Sununu. Yusuf Tanko. Sani Igidi Abdurrahim.
On behalf of the good people of Ajakuta Federal Constituency, I hereby vote for Tajuddin Abbas.
Ali Abdullah Ibrahim.
With all sense of sincerity, Abdullah Ibrahim from Akba Omala Federal Constituency, my vote goes for Honorable Dr. Tajuddin Abbas.
Haruna Paul Gowan.
In as much as I'm very, very mindful of the pathetic situation of the central part of Nigeria, the party system that have made it possible for me to be here has directed me to vote for Tajuddin Abbas, and I hereby vote Tajuddin Abbas.
Zakaria David Idris.
I vote for Tajuddin Abbas.
Can we have some order so that we can fast track the process? Okay. I don't know. Zakaria David Idris. Zakaria David Idris.
Zakaria David Idris. I vote for Tajuddin Abbas. Tajuddin Abbas. Should I vote again?
Idris Salman. Danladi. Sulaiman Danladi. I will have to revisit one member who was not around. Honorable Dati Yusuf Usman, how do you vote for record purpose? Dati
Looking at proceedings in the Green Chamber, that is the House of Representatives, and we can see the process going on, affirmation and well, not affirmation per se, because the still open ballot, and it seems as if it's going one direction. I wanted to get the insight of one who has been there at a certain time. You in fact in all the three the House of Representatives and the Senate. Well, we can call it.
Yeah, because of it, a member may decide to step down, but I think they have gone too far and far past that post. So and each of them standing for the record, you know. I remember I contended for the for the Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, you know, when I contested, and in the House of Representatives I didn't contest because of the zoning thing, as it were. And in 1999, we had almost all going one way. In the House of Representatives, we voted for Buhari at that time, and then later Galina Abba, who took over. Then in the 2003, we voted for the current speaker, the immediate past governor of Katsina State, you know, as a speaker, Aminu Bello Masare. Then in 2007, in the third assembly, we voted for Mrs. Ete, and later Bankole. It was all the same process, all open ballot, as it were. Then when we went to the Senate, we voted for David Mark in 2011. So at least I have witnessed this inauguration about 5 times. One in the House of Assembly, 3 in this House of Representatives, 1 in the Senate, before I became advisor to the President on National Assembly matters, Senate. The process is going on well. What we really should appreciate, what Nigerians should really appreciate, is that the procedure as set up by the Constitution, the procedure as set up by the standing orders of the House itself, has been followed in every material particular, and there is no attempt by any person in the course of it to shortcut the process. And so, unlike the 8th Assembly, where there were some issues which led to protracted litigation on the inauguration process, and the other issues in the House of Representatives, which was about the right of the new members to vote and be voted for on the basis of the Constitution. This one has shown absolutely nothing, in my opinion, that will be contentious, that will lead to litigation, or that may lead to instability in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. The House of Representatives is still going on. The voting process, they're doing the counting and tallying. The Senate has concluded the election of the Senate President and the President of the Senate and Deputy President of the Senate. They are now swearing in the distinguished senators elect to become senators now.
State by state.
State by state, and 3 in a row, 3 at a time, 3 states at a time, that's 9 of them. So we will want to congratulate them and say that, look, for those who have taken the seats for now, those who have taken the seats as President of the Senate, Deputy President, that will take the seat as Speaker and Deputy Speaker, embrace unity. Because if you do everything to break the ranks of the others, because if you don't and you allow the group to keep grouping up, you will have a level of challenge that will lead to, that will not be comfortable. And I know that His Excellency President Tinubu will and has taken every step to make sure that, and will take more steps to make sure, in his characteristic political sagacity, to bind and integrate all interests in the Senate to ensure that he doesn't have a legislature that is in any manner opposed to most of his measures. But opposing his measures doesn't mean that you're opposing him, because most measures you have to reason along with him or reason against him, against what he says, against what is brought, because what the president brings to the National Assembly is a raw product to be discussed, agreed, or rejected according to what the legislators think is right according to law, which the president may not have seen. So we wish them well. And the most important thing is that the process has gone on so seamlessly, so perfectly, and is of international standard.
Now let's look at what has happened now. Very few returning, especially even in the House of Representatives. Not seeing so many coming in. Would that affect the quality of legislation from your experience?
Well, I think it will, to some extent. You know, the level of high turnover in the National Assembly is very, very high. It means that the state will have to devote resources to train the new people who are coming in, particularly for the National Institute for Legislative Studies, National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies. The institute has a lot of work in his hand, and I think the DG is capable of doing what he has been doing. You know, the new legislators will have to go through a lot of training so that they can, know and acquire the knowledge on how to, and the skill or how to, to carry on their legislative function. Of course, if you check, it will take some time. It will need a lot of resources, to be able to train them. But I think that if you check also the quality of the people who have been elected this time, most of them are if you take their level of education, so I don't think it will be difficult for them to catch up, with the training that is going to be given to them, and it's just a question of time for them to, but it will take to actually take some time for them to adjust, and for them to get acquainted with the processes and procedures of the legislative process.
Just take us through what to expect in the coming days. We've just had the new, man at the top chair talking about the Senate President. In a short while, the Speaker also will be, sworn in and all that. What are we are we expecting in the coming days? Is it, the appointment of principal officer? How do we go about? How does that normally unfold? Just give us to the true process before I go to Senator Itam.
Normally, for them to hit the ground running, the appointment of principal officers will have to, be done so that the country is already, people are yearning for dividends of democracy, and I don't think that from what I have seen going on that time will be wasted in doing that, so that governance can start. Elections have been won and lost. I think this is time for governance, and I think if you see the body language of the president, he's also ready to work and has started in a very good footing with all the steps that he has taken. The National Assembly, of course, will have to work to complement what he's already doing, and lucky enough, you see the candidates that have emerged as both the president of the Senate and the Speaker are the candidate that has been endorsed by the party as well as the president himself. So I think all is set for governance to begin, and Nigerians are actually yearning to see how this government will turn around things and then impact their lives.
Senator, what are the considerations in picking principal officers? Some naturally they emerge by virtue of some status, but tell us does that normally go on, or how is it that you normally get people into those top positions in the chambers?
Now you'll have the Senate leader, Senate chief whip, Senate deputy leader, and the Senate deputy whip. Now that is for the majority party. The minority party will also have the minority leader, deputy minority leader, minority whip, and the minority deputy whip. That is 4 principal positions to join the deputy president, to join the Senate president and the deputy president of the Senate in the leadership. The same goes for the House of Representatives and the House of Assembly by extension. Now, the standing orders provides that the members of the House in the party members or the elected members from amongst themselves will choose their leader. They are different principal officers. And now the considerations that are normally given is that if the Senate President is from Akwa Ibom in the south, then the Chief Whip will come from the Chief Whip. None of the other principal officers will come from that zone. But the minority party may choose a minority leader, minority whip, or deputy from that zone also that the president there comes from, because the president is normally from the majority party as it is now. But we had a situation in the House of Representatives, and we sometimes have situations where the party hierarchy at the national level will want to nominate somebody from amongst the legislators to be the leader of the party. That is why we had the situation in the minority party in the 9th House of Representatives, where you had Chinda nominated by the party, but the speaker, let me shield the speaker. The minority caucus in the House seemed to have nominated Ndudi Elumolu, and that is the person that the speaker announced. The speaker, the presiding officer, is very key in the choice of who becomes principal officer. That is whether in the minority or majority party. Because sometimes the Senate President or the Speaker, they descend into the arena of the minority party, working using one person or the other to make sure that their leaders emerge by a certain manner.
All right, we are seeing pictures from the two chambers. Of course, I've just come on your screen now, but let's quickly go to the Green Chamber, where the House of Representatives are about getting to the business end. That's the most important part of today's, activity, inauguration, as far as the House of Representatives is concerned. Let's go there now to take care.
Member-elect Seyi Sowunmi.
You're watching live proceedings from the House of Representatives. Election of the presiding officer is now ongoing. That's the position of the Speaker, 10th House of Representatives. 3 members elect have been nominated to contest the position of the Speaker, 10th Assembly. They are Tajuddin Abbas from Kaduna State, representing Zaria Federal Constituency in Kaduna State. He is also the nominee of the ruling party, that is the APC. The immediate past Deputy Speaker of the 9th House of Representatives is also contesting, that is Ahmed Idris Wasi, while Aminu Jaji from Zamfara State was also nominated to contest the position of the Speaker, 10th Assembly. Election is now ongoing, and open ballot is what is being used to conduct the proceedings. The presiding officer for the exercise is the Deputy Clerk of the National Assembly, Kamoruddin Ogunlana. He is now been joined by the Clerk to the National Assembly, Magaji Tambol, who just concluded the activities at the Senate.
We are not hearing you, sir. Speak to the mic.